Okay guys, I'm sorry to Arjun here, Jesse here, before this video starts, but I wanted to let you guys know, put out a little disclaimer. This video in particular, the audio was not really good. So we did some things to make it better using the Adobe Audio Enhance tool for podcasts. So I just want to let you guys know, if you hear a little bit of frequency in the video, that's on me. I apologize for that. I hope you guys have a good day and listen to Brad's video. It's pretty good.
So continuation from last video. So we spoke about the C-suite and what that means, right, to a company. Now let's look at the controller CFO role. Depending on the size of your company, especially a small company, it's really hard to say, can I justify having someone on salary $150,000, $200,000 and not build to the job, right? Most small companies don't have the bandwidth to have a position at $200,000. That may be what the owner's making, right? And so to have that, because you already have field personnel that have to run the company and sales. So one thing that's really beneficial is there's a lot of CPA firms that specialize in outside CFO. So essentially for a limited price, so as opposed to having someone full-time, you can have the benefits of someone part-time. So you have this outside CFO role, they come in and they're overseeing everyone in-house. So you'll have, maybe you're spending $50,000 a year, maybe $75,000, a lot more palatable, right? So you have all the expertise of a really experienced CFO that can forecast and plan and strategize with your company. And you're meeting with them maybe every quarter, maybe every month. Especially in the beginning, as you're getting systems dialed in, it's a lot more hands-on. But eventually you're gonna get to the point where now, it's pretty streamlined and you're working just on strategies and budgets and really understanding, because what's really important is you never want to be in a position where end of year or January 1st, you're meeting with your outside CPA tax firm saying, okay, how do we do this year, right? Did we make money? How many taxes do we pay? You should be having those conversations, really monthly, ideally quarterly, meet with them and strategize and say, here's where we're at today, here's the snapshot, here's where we're going, here's how we need to forecast, revenue this year, here's how we're going to cover overhead, where are we projecting, with sales and the economy and recession and everything that's looming. So again, those two aspects, so you can have an outside CFO, get all the benefits of that at a part-time, and really these CFO companies, they service a lot of companies. So there's a lot of companies they're managing on a day-to-day basis, but they have time, allotted to you that they're typically on retainer, just like an attorney would. You may have an outside attorney that is servicing a lot of contractors and business owners, but spending some of their time dedicated to you and your firm, as you need certain answers. This is really important. This is something that I've evaluated with our company. Do we need this position, a high-level executive in this role, or is that something we can outsource and then do the day-to-day AP, AR in-house? You're going to know what's best for you and the best strategy, and really what it comes down to is, do you have the financial wherewithal? Do you have the information that you can be looking at your WIP, your work in progress, and have a really good understanding, especially when you're a cost-plus contractor? Do you have a good idea of projections? Do you have budgets? Are you living within those budgets? You may have money set aside for marketing, social media like we're doing here. Okay, are we staying within that? Is that affecting, what's the payback? Is that benefit? Do we want to spend more on marketing? Because now we can see the upside. They can open up new opportunities for us as a company and as a brand. And understanding that information is really valuable with your CFO. And then just know what's your nut to crack. How much revenue, sales? I know a builder, California, CRC builders. And so Jim, really smart, what he does is he's in a market where he's not negotiated work. He's bidding all of his work. And he has a formula where he's tracked and done his data with his CFO. He understands that, hey, if I'm bidding $10 million of work, I typically can go to contract for about 75%. So I'm losing about 25%. I'm getting about 75% of my bids, which means if I'm bidding 10 million, I should be awarded 7.5. Well, he knows, just let's say easy math, if he has to do 30 million a year in revenue for all his overhead, then he needs to be bidding 40 million. So he breaks that down. Okay, I need to bid 10 million a quarter. That means I'm making, essentially contracts at 7.5 million a quarter, and that's 30 million a year. So there's formulas there. And again, that's just kind of simple math and a simple example, but it gives you a good idea of how builders are working with their CFO to understand estimating, scheduling, right? Billings, how much I need to bill each month, right? For us, if we have a low month in billing, are we going to cover our overhead? It's one important thing about it. You have the ebbs and flows of construction. Being on some months that are heavy build and some that are low, how's that impact cash flow? So understand that your reserves, what those should be, healthy limits of reserves, line of credit is an option for a lot, again, but if you can self-fund, even better. So understand that you may not have to have even as, decent sized companies, you may not have to have that controller CFO in-house. You can outsource that and then just keep your AP accounting, in-house, which is a little bit more of a favorable cost.